the Dr. SEBI Information UK and Europe. And as I said, they've presented me with a list of questions for you. Obviously, there's just a lot of confusion about a number of things which we can't answer. So I'm very pleased that you've stopped the time address some of these. So one of the questions that we get over and over and over is, how is the nutritional guide put together? Has he tested all the foods in the world? Like, how has it come down to just this?
How do I arrive at what? At the food?
On the nutritional guide.
From the nutritional guide?
Yes.
Very good question. In fact, that is key question. What we have yet to understand, that there has been a gross violation in the cosmic arrangement of things, how things originally were put together by life itself. We call that nature. In nature, you did not find Arabs in Alaska, nor Africans in Europe. The line of demarcation was clearly drawn, meaning that each cell that represent human beings on this planet, we represent a cell as African people. I am not an Eskimo. I am not an Arab. Neither am I a Chinese. Understanding that, there comes a food with the gene structure of the individual. And you know, this occurs in the human body. The human body could easily be considered a prototype of this whole arrangement, this human body. In the human body, you have iron cells, you have calcium cells, you have cells that are made up of phosphorus and zinc, cells that are made up of carbon and copper. So as we look at this difference in genetical predispositions, we find that there's a food that is also associated with that cell. You do not feed the cells of the blood calcium, you feed it iron. So when you feed black people, you have to understand his gene. What is it that is found or was found in his environment originally? You did not find rice and beans and chicken and hogs and pigs. So understanding that these things didn't exist on the continent, I decided to look into the organic world. And as I traveled to various countries in Africa, I find that the food is still there, but we have been invaded with foreign substances and foreign philosophies that was diffused. But yes, I arrived at the nutritional guide by selecting the food that is most consistent with the human body.
Excellent.
But there are specifics within that arrangement. Like in the case of Caucasian people could digest lactose. Not so for African people. We cannot.
Right.
And the reason for that is not that we are better or worse. We just happen to be different. We haven't treated that difference. We have not.
Yes.
We talk in terms of good and bad, up and down. We never talk in difference when I am different. My food should be different.
Yes.
That's how I arrive at it.
Excellent. Thanks for that. So following on from the nutrition guide, agave has a really bad rap. We want to know, why is that included?
Agave may have a very bad reputation by many. It's like moringa have a very high reputation by many,
Yes.
but it is a hybrid.
Yes.
Agave is not a hybrid. Agave is a cactus that comes from the desert,
Yes.
and they process the resin. So I want to know. In fact, I remember reading on the agave label that it was the only glucose free.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
not like sugar,
Right.
which have glycerinic acid.
Yes.
So agave coming from a natural source cannot have
Yeah.
glycerinic acid. That
Okay.
only comes from cane.
Okay. So young coconuts are on the list, and mature coconuts are not. It says the soft jelly coconuts. Why not mature coconuts? Because a lot of us make milk from mature coconuts growing up, like in the Caribbean.
If you make the milk from the mature coconut, the hard coconut, you make the milk and you drink it, it will be good.
Okay.
But when you add fire to it,
Uh-huh.
you begin to change the molecular structure
Gotcha.
and you break it down, the oil surface, and it's gonna hurt you.
Right. So raw coconut milk is okay.
Right. If you want to make a good coconut oil and you want to get the result of it, it's easy. All you have to do, take the mature coconut, put it in the sun. In fact, last night I had a dream with copra.
Really?
You know what copra is?
No, I don't know copra.
Copra is when you take the mature coconut and you split it in half and you put it in the sun for 15 days. It dries up and it's sweet. Then you grate it and you squeeze the juice out of it, the oil.
Right.
But when you boil it to get the oil when it's fresh,
Yes.
you're gonna hurt yourself.
Okay, so it's fresh raw coconut oil and fresh. So cold pressed coconut oil is fine.
Coconut oil is very good.
Yes.
But after you have extracted the coconut oil from the coconut, you cannot use it on hot food. You gotta make the food cool, and then you pour it on it.
Gotcha. Oh, that's excellent. What about bread? How can we make bread? There's a lot of the breads that we make are going to just be flat because baking soda, I guess, is not approved for us to use. So how can we make breads? What kinds of breads?
Bread,
How can we get bread to rise?
sea moss.
Sea moss.
Hannah, have you ever thought of using the Perrier water?
Ah, the soda and the Perrier water. Yes.
Perrier water is naturally carbonated.
Yes. Uh-huh. Good.
Yeast or soda is bicarbonate of soda, but Perrier is natural.
Okay. All
But
right.
sea moss would raise your stuff up like
It
a
will-
leaven.
Sea moss will raise as well.
Yeah.
Planning to be back in Jamaica at all?
I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica.
Nice one.
Jamaica represents a lot to me because it is the land of Marcus Garvey.
Yes.
In fact, Garvey to me is the only main leader that I really, really had a lot of respect for. I respect and love for all of them. But Garvey came with something pragmatic. You know?
Yeah. Yes.
Going home,
Love it.
building, building things.
Yeah.
We are now bogged with philosophy. And the people that is running the UNIA today, they're not doing the things that Garvey was doing. They're not even resonating on that level. So Jamaica represents the home of black nationalism.
That is true.
Not saying that in a negative way,
No, I understand.
but it is waking us up that we have to depend on ourselves. Yes, I want to go back to Jamaica as soon as they possibly. Invite me again.
Okay, we will work it out. What about New York?
I love New York. The brothers and sisters in New York are just as beautiful as the brothers and sisters in Jamaica. The brothers and sisters in England, likewise. one of the things that we have been noticing, that we have been bombarded with negative information about us. But that negative information is alien and external to us. Detroit is crime city number one. Memphis, crime city number one. Black people in London is this, that, and the other. It's not true. We all are beautiful.
Okay, thank you. Some females report that when they're eating from the nutritional guides, their menses stop. Should they be worried about fertility?
When they said that when they eat from the nutritional guide that the
Yes.
menses stop.
Some menses stop, and some feel no more pain, which is good, but some people just stop altogether. So they're worried about, well, am I fertile?
Wait, what again? Menses. Are we supposed to see, a woman supposed to see her menses every month according to the norm? Yes, not according to life. History didn't show that, doesn't show that. I am told by many ancient people that the woman used to menstruate once every 4 years.
Wow. What?
And only for 10 minutes.
Right.
But her body was clean.
Of course.
And my sperm wasn't white, it was green.
Wow.
Now my sperm is white, and you have a mens every month. You're releasing an ovum every month that is unnatural because you're accelerating the body. High metabolism. No. So when some of them says that the menses stop, there could be a good reason, there could be a good thing.
That sounds good. So they're still fertile, you think?
Sure.
Excellent. What are your views? Now, we know you have a sauna here, and obviously it's a very natural spring sauna, and we don't get that in most of the countries that we're from. So what about infrared sauna?
Now, I was hearing infrared.
Yes,
Saunas that give you sun rays artificially.
that's correct. And,
Okay.
and steam up
No.
artificially.
It has to be natural. Take your clothes off and get in the sun.
Absolutely. There's no sun in
It's
London.
as simple as that.
I got you. Okay. What about any advice for women for shrinking fibroids? It seems to be a very common problem with among black
The
females.
reason why black females are facing with such a high incidence of fibroids, the diet.
The diet.
They have taken us away from the diet that nature designed for us.
Yes.
And we have become victims, conditioned to that diet. Now, we have to turn the thing around, bring back everything that we feel, that we know is consistent with our cellular predisposition, our diet.
Okay.
Not only is it going to address certain parts, all of us, we are actually insane. We are insane.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us to the point that we wind up in an insane asylum. I am a product of that. I am a victim of that. I was in what you call a psychiatric ward, schizophrenic and paranoia. Later, to walk out of it, to heal that, we are very, very sick. And this is the reason why I say to my brothers and sisters, if nothing else we do, let us be tolerant of each other's.
Yes.
Let's be tolerant. Don't come with too much of a philosophy or anything. Just be tolerant and share love.
Yeah. Okay. So persons, there are a few persons who are also suffering from fits, epilepsy. Can that be helped?
Epilepsy or fits also is the result of poor oxygen to the brain.
Poor oxygen.
There was a man in Los Angeles that came to me that was blind. His name is Mr. Fredericks, my first blind patient, 1977. He said to me, My daughter has 2 grand mal a day. Could you help her too? Mr. Frederick was seeing. He was blind for 11 years, but he was seeing in 2 days.
Wow.
So I sent her the compound. Do you know that that young lady only took 1 dose, and that was all she needed? And the dose was the cannabis sativa.
Cannabis sativa.
Better known as the marijuana.
Excellent.
You make a tincture,
Yes.
and you give her a tablespoon of the tincture in about an ounce of water, and the lady never had another
Wow.
seizure.
Excellent. Thanks very much. And is that something they can get from the LA office? How would they get that?
What, the tincture of marijuana?
Yes, or would they call the Usha village for that?
We got it here. I think we may have it in the LA office also.
Okay, thank you. Persons who are healing from kidney failure, who've had kidney failure and are healing, what should they take to heal? Should they go on a cleansing package? Should they take a therapeutic package, or should they just eat from the nutritional guide?
Kidney failure. I know, to heal kidney failure, you got to get that package, because that is very, very, very tricky, and it's very tedious, and it's a serious situation.
Yes.
Yes, you got the nutritional package.
Get a therapeutic package.
You know, yeah, the therapeutic one.
Yeah.
We have to, you know, I've been successful, not in all cases, because again, the conditioning comes into the picture.
Yes.
There were many people that we treated for with kidney failure that recovered overnight and was off the dialysis. There were others that they could not stop eating that Canadian bacon.
So it's diet, therapeutic package, and diet.
That's right.
Okay. When you come into the Yusha village, what medical documentation is required before you get here?
You know, because we have reduced disease to a common denominator, it is necessary for you to bring the diagnostic sheet of the physician.
Okay.
Although we work with them, and they're good. I'm not going to deny the doctor his position in the sun.
Yes.
He's good. He responds to emergencies where we cannot. It is good to bring it, but just tell us what the doctor said you have, and we proceed from there.
Okay.
Because we know already that the body is ridden with inflammation. Inflammation is the cause of all disease. Without the body having inflammation, there would be no disease.
Okay. Children with autism.
Autism. Notice carefully. I just said that every disease is the result of inflammation. A child with autism that's white, black, Chinese, Arab, they all look alike.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
They call them mongoloids. They all take on that mongoloid look. The mongoloid look comes when the inflammation has invaded the child's brain and face, shaping it to look like a mongoloid. Like mongoloid. You see?
Yeah.
They all look alike. But what is causing that head to swell? It isn't the air, it isn't water, it's inflammation. Removing the inflammation from the body, draining the inflammation from the head, the child began to respond. I had a little boy from Ecuador. The grandmother brought him. The grandmother brought him to be treated. He's 13. He never spoke in his life. When that boy took the treatment, he was talking in 2 weeks.
So for parents with children of autism, you suggest that they would call the LA office for a therapeutic package?
Call the LA office. This is why we're building a center here for children with autism and also for leukemia, because we find that there are many, many children who are suffering with leukemia and sickle cell and autism.
And will you have more products for children? Because at the moment there's only Banju.
The Banju is a very good product.
Will you have more products for children?
Oh yes, we do.
Which other products can children?
Well, we have the iron is for children.
Oh, Iron Plus.
But we make for children products specially for them.
Yes.
Yeah, specifically for them.
You're going to have more products for children, or?
Yes, we're going to have more products for children.
Is it possible for the thyroid gland to grow back after it's been removed?
The thyroid gland or
Yes.
the thymus gland?
The thyroid gland. Well, can this grow back?
Glands does grow back because they removed Zadia Ife thymus gland before she came to me. As she took the treatment, it grew back. Glands grows back.
Excellent. Just got one more question. We have very low sun exposure in Europe. What can we eat to resolve the poor sun exposure?
What could you eat to replace?
Yes, to resolve that. We obviously, the sun's very poor and we don't get a lot of sunlight. So is there something we can eat specifically to get whatever it is that we need to compensate?
If you say that you get poor sunlight and sparsely in Europe, a white man would say that is good, but not so for a black person. A black person needs the sun. I mean, when he gets into the sun after being in the cold, oh, his body feels it immediately. I mean, immediately.
Yes.
What does that mean? That you didn't belong there. But since you're there, what could you take to replace that? Lots of iron.
Lots of iron. Okay. All right. And those are all the questions.
That's all the questions.
Those are all I've got another.
You know, I'm enjoying you.
All right. Thank
And
you.
they're very key questions.
They are.
They are very good questions.
We get asked them
Because
over and over.
We have got to be responsive. We have got to be responsive to each other.
Yes.
And I hope that this information would be received in the same vernacular as I'm deploying it.
Yes.
I want it to be received with love, because we need each other's now. And the funny thing about us black people, our history, that we set out to rescue our life because of the violation of 500 years. But in turn, white people benefit, Orientals benefit, everybody benefit, Native American benefit.
Yeah.
Now that was the beautiful thing about it, is that everybody benefits from it because we set out to do it to us for ourselves.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Sebi, for your
I
time.
want to thank you for taking the privilege and giving me the privilege then to do this work, because it is a message we all need.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.